Alright, YouTube people and fellow gearheads and DIY guys. A couple people on my other video had asked me to do a cart tour, so I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on my Series 2 Harbor Freight tool cart. Now, I am just a DIY guy, just a for funsies mechanic. Hot rod on the weekends, got a couple of cars, and then just all the tools and knickknacks and things like that you acquire for, you know, just your DIY stuff and urban farm living, if you will. So, getting into it real quick, I take apart a lot of the Harbor Freight magnets. A lot of these magnet rails that you get from Harbor Freight for a couple of bucks, and you can take the magnets out really easily and kind of organize stuff the way you want. So these are Gearwrench Reversible ratcheting wrenches, and these are, I think these are USA Craftsman. So yeah, these are USA Craftsman, just open box ends. These are different feeler gauges. I use these to set valve latch on the race cars and spark plug gaps, stuff like that. These are actually really good. I actually really like these. They're Titan brand. I don't remember where I got them, but they're 1/4 inch impact, and they are Wobble Extensions. So you put your socket in these. If you're not familiar with them, oops, sorry about the camera wobble, that's terrible. So you put your socket in that, and if you lock it all the way down, it's stiff. But if you bump it up a little bit, you get a nice little wobble action like that. It kind of acts like a little bit of a U-joint. Those are super handy. I don't use the 1/4 and the 3/8, or excuse me, the 1/2 and the 3/8 a lot, but I do use the 1/4 inch one all the time. And then these are just Pittsburgh 3/8 ball end extended Allens. This is I actually have this full set of the Gearwrench Pass-Throughs, but I keep this one handy right here because this is the rig that I use to change the number 7 spark plug on the Corvette. The way the headers are configured, and I don't use it with the extension. I just use that because I need a nice little shorty, but I need the pass-through because I don't have the length in there to get the extension on it. But I keep that handy. So again, its real only purpose is that one spark plug. And then there's just a various assortment of Allen heads and Torx, more Allen heads, and then these are these are Ace Hardware brand, universal joint, 3/8. They're freaking junk. So since those were junk, I bought these, which I thought I was going to use them all the time, but I really don't use them that much. They're pretty handy, but you know, I keep them in here in case I need them. And then these are all just various screwdrivers. These are Husky. This is a Craftsman screwdriver pry bar. These are just Pittsburgh pry bars, and then this is just a cheap assortment of other screwdrivers, and these are Kleins. The Klein and the Milwaukee tape measures, these are both actually really, really good. I use both of these. I keep them both up here because the wife and I will work in tandem on a project, something like that, and she'll need one and I'll need one, so I keep those handy. And then just a little pocket tape measure. This is all just 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch metric. I really don't use metric a lot because most of what I'm wrenching on is old muscle cars. I got the 69 Chevelle and the 73 Corvette. That's what I do most of the time, but I do work on the daily driver stuff and all these larger sockets. So that's a socket, that's a 3/4 inch socket with a 1/2 inch adapter, and that's also a 3/4 socket with a 1/2 inch adapter, and then these are big metric deep wells. Those are all serving a specific purpose. I can't tell you off the top of my head what they are, but I do reach for those every once in a while. And then the Pittsburgh universal socket tray. I actually really like this. These things are 19 bucks. And they hold a lot of sockets. That's really between that and this drawer here that you had previously seen. That's really all the sockets I ever need. I keep these in the cases because I do take this and put these drawers back in the box, and that's my mobile rig that I take to the racetrack. So I actually been considering doing something a little bit different, but you know, that's a story for another time. Everything from here down is American Craftsman. Some of it's quite a bit older, like a lot of these things are about 20 years old, but you know, the quality was still pretty decent back then. Now getting into the drawers, This is all pneumatics. This stuff is basically obsolete. I keep it, but I almost never reach for it. I do use this with some frequency. My Ingersoll Rand air hammer or air punch. That thing is a beast. Other than that, really, I use the cut-off wheel still. I haven't used the impact or the pneumatic ratchet in a very long time, but I do use the blowguns and the tire pressure gauge and stuff like that quite a bit still. So this, let me back up one. UEI laser temp probe, use that to record track temperature when you're at the racetrack and tire temperature, stuff like that. And then a Klein digital angle finder. That is crucial for setting pinion angle and four-link bar angle and stuff like that. So keep that handy. This drawer, obviously sockets, ratchets, Tecton 1/4" drive composite. They're pretty good. Don't use it a ton, but I do use it sometimes. This is just various extensions. These are all, except that blue one, these are all Pittsburgh. Now, why the oddball? This one, I bought this one because at one point, the detent ball that holds all that together inside there on this Craftsman, I was taking it apart and cleaning it and greasing those, and it fell out and I lost it. And I didn't throw it away, I just kind of got frustrated, and I bought this one to put in its place to have something in that kit to keep that kit complete. And then one day I walked out to the garage and just saw that ball laying on the floor, so I was able to put that all back together. So, other than that, I really don't use that one much, but it does its job. Long extension, it just doesn't fit anywhere else. And then this is my Tecton 1/4" inch-pound torque wrench. Pretty handy. Bought that when I was doing the intake and knock sensors on my 06 Yukon. If anybody knows the GM motors there, those knock sensors are kind of notorious for going bad. This is just kind of the junk drawer, various batteries, writing utensils, knives, more knives, and that thingy, test light. It's really all that's in there. And then this is one of my wrench drawers. There's a lot of different stuff in here. So here's, we'll start at the bottom. What brand are these? I don't even remember what brand those are. Stubbies. They have a very specific function, but I do use those. These are metric non-reversible ratchetings. I think these are Ace Professional. I had to have bought that kit for something. I don't remember what. When I was an HVAC service tech, I carried these to have a ratcheting multi-functional wrench. 4 different sizes, you know, just reduces the weight of the tool bag. So they're pretty handy, but I don't use them a lot now, but every now and then you need to reach for one. These Great Necks, I actually got these at AutoZone, and I actually do use these quite a bit. I bought these probably in the early 2000s. And again, you know, for a weekend warrior DIY guy, somebody that's not a professional mechanic that has to use and abuse this stuff every day, these are fine. Those work fine. I think these are Craftsman open end, or are they Ace open end? Yep. Why so many Ace tools? Because the HVAC shop that I worked for, we were attached to the back of an Ace hardware, and we could go in and just buy any tool that we needed and put it on a charge account, so it was really easy just to rack up a bunch of tools. Line wrenches, super handy. You got to have those for brake lines, stuff like that. These are a Craftsman. They're supposed to be a high grip, low slip, like bulldog style wrench. I bought those just, you know, I don't know why, just why not? They're fucking stupid. Don't buy them. They're dumb. And then these are Craftsman Ratcheting Box End. These work well if you keep the box end, or excuse me, the open end perfectly flat on the bolt that you're ratcheting on. But the idea is that you don't have to take the wrench off of the fastener and reset it. You can just turn it around the radius of it, and that little detent pin right there, that little catch pin, allows it to ratchet on and off of it. Again, they work pretty well as long as you have the ability to keep that thing perfectly flat on there. If it's not flat, it's not going to work. It's going to slip off, and it's not going to ratchet right, and it binds up. Wouldn't buy them again. I can't honestly tell you when the last time I used those was. Getting down here, this is all just different pliers, vice grips, oil filter wrench, pair of scissors. You got to keep the scissors handy. It's super handy to have them. Rivet guns, stuff like that. And then this is just a various drill bits and fasteners. These are left-handed easy outs. And this is just an Irwin driver kit. A micrometer. Actually, I ought to put that in my engine building drawer. It's kind of a more measure crankshaft journals and stuff like that with that when you're setting bearing tolerances. Just a generic O-ring kit. Tap and die kit, super handy. Big micrometer that was actually given to me when my wife's grandfather passed away. That was in his tool collection. I'll never get rid of it, but I'll never use it either. I never need a micrometer that size. So that's what's in this side. And this is just various drill bits. The big paddle bits, super handy. The speed bores. These things are beastly. If you don't have a set of these are super handy. If you're a at-home DIY guy or urban farm guy, those are super handy. You know, you just almost always gonna have a reason at some point to go drill big holes in shit. Old 360 fly camera, junk, don't buy one. More Milwaukee drill bits and more DeWalt drill bits. So that is the gist of this cart. And the all-important Death Star bottle opener. If you don't have one of these, little Klein magnetic. It's got a flashlight on it. It's super bright. That thing's actually a lifesaver. I think you get those for about 17, 18 bucks. But that's the cart. Real quick, we'll go up to the tool wall just for kicks. Just more wrenches. These are AN wrenches for AN fuel fittings, files, and different squares. These are coilover lock ring adjusters for coil height, coil spring height. Those doodads, Craftsman T-handles, and just various pliers and stuff like that. Different drill bits, more drill bits. These are, I need to find a better home for these, but these are pinion depth shims for a 9-inch Ford. And then the big aluminum rods out of previous motors. And this one's actually not out of my car. That thing's a beast. That's out of a Pro Mod Corvette that's from here in town. These are all metric, just metric open end, all different, adjustable. I grew up calling those crescent wrenches. I know that Crescent's a brand, but to me that's a crescent wrench. And then just all these different open end wrenches. Some of the big ones like this one is specifically for 4-link stuff. You got these 90-degree ones, these comfort grip ones. Who are these made by? Those are Ace Professional. Those are actually really good. Actually, I use these a lot. That's why they're on the wrench wall, on the pegboard wall. I use those a lot. And then we've got, these are Crescent brand reversible box end. And as you can see, differently from the gear wrenches, instead of the switch, they're the button. Don't like them as much as the gear wrench, but I do use those a lot. So all that stuff up there and all the stuff in here is stuff that I use nearly every weekend. And that's why it's out and exposed like that. So that's the cart. Anyway, thanks a lot.